He didn't get summoned to save the world, he got trapped in it. For years, survival was the only rule, in a world where even the system that brought him there wanted him dead. Ru Hanbin was just a normal guy, living a normal life, until one day, a flash of light changed everything. He was abducted, summoned to a fantasy world teeming with monsters and magic. But there was no grand prophecy, no divine blessing waiting for him. He wasn't the chosen hero. Instead, he was given a generic training system, a guideline designed to prepare heroes for their journey. There was just one catastrophic problem. The system was broken. A glitch, an error, a fatal flaw that turned his new life into a living nightmare. While other summoned heroes trained for a few days or weeks before venturing out, Hanbin was trapped. Trapped inside the tutorial, a desolate, rocky wasteland with no exit. The leveling system was bugged. No matter how many monsters he killed, his level refused to go up. He was stuck at level 1, with no access to new skills, no help, no escape. The only thing the system provided was an endless supply of monsters to fight and endless, excruciating pain. For what felt like an eternity, Hanbin's existence was a brutal, repetitive cycle of life and death. He fought, he was overwhelmed, he died, and then, the cruel system would revive him, forcing him to stand up and fight again, and again, and again. With each revival, the system judged him as having adapted, so it would send stronger, faster, more vicious enemies his way. Bones were crushed, muscles were torn to shreds, and his mind was pushed to the absolute brink of insanity. The constant pain and hopelessness were a poison, meant to break him down completely. But something unexpected happened. In the face of absolute despair, Ru Hanbin didn't just break, he adapted, he evolved. His body, denied the conventional growth of levels and stats, began to change in a more primal, monstrous way. His muscles grew denser, his bones harder. His senses sharpened to an animalistic degree. His strength, forged in the crucible of endless combat, soared to inhuman levels. This wasn't growth granted by a system, it was growth earned through pure, desperate survival. The glitch had failed to break him, instead, it had accidentally forged a monster. Then one day, after more than 20 years trapped in that digital hell, the impossible happened. A critical system error, a cascade of glitches, and suddenly, Hanbin escaped. He was finally free from the tutorial. He stumbled out into the real world, a world filled with vibrant cities, diverse races, and other summoned heroes. But this world was not the grand adventure he might have once dreamed of. He quickly discovered a dark truth hiding beneath the surface. Heroes weren't saviors. They were pawns, controlled by the very system that brought them here. Gods, beings of immense power, manipulated events from the shadows, playing games with mortal lives. And the system, the guideline, still didn't recognize Hanbin properly. His stats were unreadable, his level registered as a glitch. To the world, he was an anomaly, an error. And to the gods who designed this world, he was a threat they had never planned for. Hanbin knew immediately that he was in danger. He saw how the system controlled other heroes, rewarding obedience and punishing dissent. Those who didn't follow orders, who became too powerful or too independent, simply disappeared, erased. Knowing his very existence was an error that the gods would want to correct, Hanbin made a choice. He would hide, he suppressed his overwhelming power, pretending to be a weak, low-level newbie. He played the part of a bumbling, clueless warrior, observing the world, learning its rules, and identifying its true players. He watched from the sidelines, a monster disguised as a man. But when real danger appeared, when his comrades were threatened, his survival-honed instincts would take over. In those moments, the facade would crack. He would move with a speed and power that defied logic. A single, almost lazy-looking swing of his sword would obliterate a beast that entire parties of heroes struggled against. Enemies didn't even understand what had killed them. All they saw was a blur before their world went dark. The time for hiding couldn't last forever. Pushed into a corner, with the lives of his new friends on the line, Hanbin finally stopped holding back. The moment he unleashed his true power, the entire battlefield changed. The air grew heavy, thick with a pressure that suffocated everyone present. Monsters that had seemed invincible were cleaved in two with a single, effortless swing of his massive black sword. Veteran warriors, men and women who had faced death 100 times, froze in primal fear. Even other high-level heroes felt an instinctual dread, a feeling of being in the presence of a true predator. This wasn't just skill or technique, this was pure, unadulterated dominance. Hanbin was never trained to be a hero, following a path of righteous justice. He was forged to survive, no matter the cost. And that relentless pursuit of survival had created something far more terrifying than a hero. It had created a king, the Sword King, but with his growing power and understanding of the world, Hanbin realized something truly terrifying. The system that had trapped him, the guideline that had tortured him for 2 decades, wasn't just a random magical phenomenon. It was a sophisticated piece of technology, deliberately designed and controlled by higher beings. The gods of this world, the so-called Ormflau's Church, were the architects of his suffering. And if they discovered what he had become, if they realized that their flawed tutorial had created an uncontrollable anomaly with the power to defy them, they would stop at nothing to erase him. This time, they wouldn't just throw monsters at him, they would throw their entire world. The gods created a system to manufacture heroes they could control. But through a single error, they accidentally created something far worse for them. They created a man who doesn't need their blessings, their stats, or their permission to survive. He makes his own rules. The Sword King has entered the world. Thanks for watching this recap. If you want to see how the Sword King challenges the gods themselves, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. See you next time.